Guys, and welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I, Michelle, document my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author while also traversing the world with multiple personalities. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around, but today we are going to be doing a reading vlog where I have, next to me I have 4 books, but I actually have 5. One of them I'm kind of not, I'm not pushing myself to read, but the other 4 I would like to at least attempt to read today. With a bare minimum of at least reading for 30 minutes in each book. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. And if you want to leave me a comment down below what kind of book you're reading currently, I would love to hear it. And yeah, let's just jump into it, shall we? Okay, hello guys. Today is the 18th of April. It is halfway past the midpoint of April. I want to be completely honest with you guys. The reason I'm doing this video is just because I haven't been feeling the motivation to write. I do have one clip, that I'll probably have in another video, where I'm talking about, working on JJ's project. I started JJ's chapter 21. JJ's project is my young adult Christian fiction coming of age storyline. I wrote chapter 21, which I say is the beginning of Act 3, but honestly could be also part of Act 2. But right now I'm kind of stuck with how to write the upcoming part. I'll probably start doing that on Sunday maybe, or on Monday, I don't know. But this week has just been kind of rough. It's just been a lot of, I had therapy and also a med-eval. But also I've just kind of been not, I don't want to say depressed because that's not the right word. It's just I've just kind of been feeling numb. And it honestly has to deal with the fact that my alters, so there's been some severe, not severe necessarily, but I've been discovering more alters and there's been some fusions. And it's just a lot to take on. And honestly, we've never been good at really talking about our emotions or expressing how we're feeling. We say that, and sometimes we do it on this channel, but really it's hard for us to talk about. It's okay to do it to our by ourselves in front of a camera, but in front of our sister, we just can't talk about our mental health because we're always concerned about what people appear us to be, kind of thing. Saying you have multiple personalities, people definitely look at you differently. They just give you this questionable look, and it honestly hurts the majority of the time. Whenever you get this look, you're like, great. Just great. I could have another person that wonders if I'm sane or not and stuff, and it just hurts. But yeah, so that's kind of been what's going on. Yeah, just having a lot of fusions. Not really fusions, but a lot of discovering new alters. And, I say sometimes new alters have formed. It's not necessarily they're being formed, because they're not being formed. Unless they're being a fusion, then they're kind of being formed. But with discovering new alters, it's really, it's a process of healing. It may not sound like healing, but really is healing, because my alters are getting more comfortable with coming out and expressing who they are, and trying to help us keep growing in our mental health. And that's honestly what a majority of our life is just trying to mature, trying to not evolve, but trying to increase who we are, trying to eventually become whole. When I mean whole, I mean having all parts at least be seen and recognized. Does that mean final fusion, or final integration? I don't know. It depends on what we'll be like at that point. But yeah, it's definitely been some trials and tribulations right now. I also learned that the author who does the picture books, so the Saint picture books, is not actually Grace. It's actually a different alter. I did not know this when I first started writing it, and it makes sense as to why the writing style is, again, so different from Grace's style. Just because, obviously, each pen name is their own person. They have their own each individual style. And, this alter, I don't know her name. I think it's her, at least. I don't know. I've never actually asked her. I'm gonna just call her her. I, I'm gonna call them her. I don't know. Um, but I've just never had a conversation with them, and the only reason I discovered her, I guess, is because our like writing corner of our head. So this is where Shelley, Grace, and Maris kind of live. They all each have their own individual rooms, and then like the rooms lead into a kind of lounge area for them to all sit down and talk to each other. But if they don't necessarily want to, like, they'll have sometimes communication between them if, say, if, like, one's stuck, which is really different than how it used to be, because it was really much, like, in the past, it was, like, this book is specifically Shelley, and no one else gets to intervene with her book. But now we're working as a team to work on these books to hopefully strengthen them. Yeah, so we're a work in progress. Not in a bad way, but we're just a work in progress. But we found out because the lounge area where all the altars kind of, like all the pen names kind of just like chill and talk, we discovered that that's also where our little Marises work, or kind of live at. The little Marises are, basically little, I think they're little, so like children like altars, that bounce ideas off of specific authors. Not necessarily always Shelley, always Maris's works, but they just bounce ideas off of every single, all the authors, and sometimes other people as well. And they kind of just play like devil's advocate almost, like, or not devil's advocate, but they just like, you have this idea, but they're like, ooh, what if we do this kind of thing. So it honestly just depends. But in that, discovering that they have a lounge area where they stay, I discovered that this, I would say, at least as a teenage altar, they feel kind of younger, but this author is the one that does the picture books, the Saint picture books. And it's really, I haven't done much communication with them, just because we're kind of going through this like empty space void feeling. Yeah, nothing seems to be filling the void, and it's just kind of rough. But we're slowly getting back into praying more, because we did fall out of praying, just because we really didn't have a desire to do it. We just had the lack of motivation to, I don't want to say encourage, but like, we just wanted to just, like, if we had ice cream in the house, I think we actually do have ice cream in the house, but like, we didn't want to stick to our diet. We just wanted to just sit and binge, eating ice cream, not even watching anything, just sitting there, staring at the ice cream, eating it, and that was it. That's all we wanted to do. But we're getting better. We're getting better. We just have to accept that this is growth, and that we are getting better. So that's kind of the update as to what's going on with our life. I've been talking for almost 8 minutes here, so I'm going to take a break, and then we'll get into the books I'm wanting to read today. I've got 4 that I want to read. At least read 30 minutes in the fiction books, but read at least a chapter in the nonfiction works. So we will get into that, and I will see you guys later, okay? Bye. Okay, so the next 2 books that I'm reading are different fiction books. These ones I don't necessarily do journaling sessions on. Like, I don't break it down and, like, dissect it as much, because these ones are really ones that I'm just wanting to read for fun. And maybe that's why I don't read them as much. But, The first one is Dreaming About the Boy Next Door, by Sarah Sutton. I don't know why I decided to say her name rather than everyone else's. But Dreaming About the Boy Next Door, I've really been enjoying. I watch Sarah Sutton on YouTube, and I kind of keep track of her books that she writes. And I also really love her updated covers, but the main reason I read I like the sweet romance books, and especially considering it's teenagers, I really enjoy it. And I will say I also, I'm wanting to continue reading this series, and all future books as well, just because I find them really interesting, but also, I don't remember what I was going to say. That train of thought completely derailed. I really enjoy her writing, and as especially for Grace, because this book is more focused on a Grace kind of writing style, This just helps us think of more books in the Moving to Scripture series, because like not all the books in the Moving to Scripture series or Moving into Scripture world has to deal with mental health. Like JJ's book is very much structured on mental health, while like unrelated to romance life. But I have an idea for a book that has a different character who also has DID, or OSDD. I don't know which one I'm going with. But also has DID. But it's going to take a look at JJ and this. I think I named her Jenny. I don't know. That's probably going to change. But I had this idea for like having having a book in the perspective of Jenny, who's more concrete in her mental health. Like she's more like JJ right now is in the first beginning process. Everyone's very much against each other, kind of thing. While Jenny's life is going to be like kind of more structured, and she's going to be working with one of JJ's younger brothers. Like it's going to be taking in like more like adult kind of way, but still not have any like spicy romance. But I just want to kind of have like show how things evolve almost. And I think that's honestly, I'm just going to spitball, but I think JJ's story is the first one I'm going to write. I'm not sure what the second book in the Moving to Scripture series is. And JJ's world might just be another, like a series within that. But I'm thinking of writing Jenny's story next, or at least plotting it. Just so I can be like, fully, like not, I don't know, like fully embracing the mental health aspect of it. But I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas. But with Sarah Sutton's book, I do kind of do some journaling. It's more like kind of taking this like thinking of future, like how she might take this book. So like, I don't remember what I wrote, but like this is one aspect of the story, and I'm like, oh, maybe she could spin off and do this, kind of thing. Because there are 5 books in that series. I already read book 1, which was Teaching the Teacher's Pet. I need to read Dreaming. I'm in the middle of beginning parts of Dreaming About the Boy Next Door, and I would like to continue reading this series. So it's just all fun aspects. And I remember, I think on one of her YouTube channels, she originally wanted to write this book series, like the most likely 2 series, as 7 books? I don't know, but I don't know, I like to dissect things, but also not fully dissect things. But the next book, how have I already talked for 4 more minutes? I don't know. The next book I'm reading is The Nocturnals. This one is strictly for my littles to read. My littles, obviously, are my children like altars. This helps my, obviously, little littles who have their own names, but also the little Marises to kind of just have fun. This one we do absolutely no journaling with, because we kind of already know what's going to happen. But what we do is we read it, like document, like, oh, we read for 30 minutes. We read for 30 minutes. This is the chapters we read, and that's kind of it. We are on chapter 20 of it, and I think there's 33 chapters in it. And we've been able to read like 9 chapters per day. Per 30 minutes, which that's just a rough estimate. So we might get this done, but I think we'll have to read it a couple more times. But I don't know if we're going to necessarily read this book either, so we'll just kind of see how things go. But I will say, so with the Nocturnals and Dreaming About the Boy Next Door, I definitely do like 30-minute reading sprints with these. So I use my kitchen timer and just set a timer for 30 minutes. And I just read that strictly for that long. And if it ends before a chapter, then I'll reach the next chapter pretty much. But yeah, so those are the books. I'm starting to slur. That's the books that I'm wanting to read. I also want to read the Bible today. Will I do a clip of that? I don't know. I'm not going to really do a vlog style either. This is just going to be like my talking head videos, like being like, hey, I'm reading this book first, and then, hey, I'm reading this book, and kind of thing. But yeah, so, oh man, this is going to be a long video. and I don't edit videos. Anyways, I am going to take another little break. I'm going to finish watching a YouTube video, and then we will get started with the Complex PTSD book. And yeah, I'll see you guys then, okay? Bye. Okay, so today, what are the books that I'm wanting to read? Also, it is currently 9:25. I'll probably start reading at 10. But the 4 books that I'm wanting to read, I want to read the Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving. I haven't worked on this since January, and I would honestly like to get back into working on it. The reason I haven't is because this book is dense, and it goes through some things that I'm like, I struggle with, like, accepting almost, because, like, when I think of my childhood, I always think, like, I never got hit, so I don't really have any trauma. And mine is more associated with, like, emotional neglect, and kind of feeling abandoned all the time, which is nothing on my parents. My parents were doing their best. I'm the youngest of 4, and there's 4 years in between each one of us kids, so by the time my oldest brother was, like, when I was born, he was 12 years old. He was getting ready to go into the workforce, because back then you could go to work at 14. He was also kind of a troublemaker, and then my sister also was a troublemaker. Not really necessarily in a bad way, but we have cousins that are around the same age as us. We come from a huge family. My dad has 12 brothers and sisters, not including who they're married to. And then my mom has 8, and they were all really close. Like, all the cousins were really close to my siblings. Not necessarily me and my older brother, just because we were kind of socially awkward. And at that point, I don't know, we just didn't want to associate with people. But with that, our older brother and sister, they hung out all the time with our cousins, but yet they didn't follow mom and dad's rules, kind of thing. And I had always grown up with, like, listening to these strict rules, and I was like, I have to be at home at this time, bam, bam, bam. Like, I had all these things I had to do, and I was like, okay, I have to follow those rules, and that's kind of why I'm like, maybe the way I am is because I was like, I don't want to get grounded. I don't want to lose privileges and stuff, because I always was like, what privileges am I going to lose, kind of thing. But yeah, so that's kind of what my problem is. And just feeling like I have to live up to these standards. Living up to these standards that don't necessarily need to be reached. That was just kind of my thing. But for this, I am wanting to read chapter 11 in this Complex PTSD book. With the nonfiction books that I read the chapter that I'm wanting to read. I say wanting to read a lot. But so I'm wanting to read the chapter, and I'm also going to highlight. I'm going to take notes. I don't have the notebook with me right now, but it's back there. It's a spiral-bound notebook. But so I listened to this book on YouTube. There's a person that reads the whole book in sections, each chapter. And I highlight, take notes on it. Then I will go back and do a journaling session on it. Like, say I'm learning, like, I don't know exactly, but say there's something that it hit home to me. So I'd be like, this part hits home to me, and I explain it. And then after that, I also do a journaling session, maybe, of like, okay, breaking it down. How does this chapter make me feel, kind of thing. So we are wanting to do chapter 11 on this book. Again, we're just wanting to get back into reading it. And grieving really makes sense a lot of the time for, like, right now for us, grieving really makes sense because, like, we feel like we miss out on our childhood because we can't really remember it. But also we are just, like, I don't know, maybe it'll help with us grieving our mom who passed away. I don't think it'll have that effect, but you never know. And then also just, like, grieving the childhood we think we never had, trying to remember things but we never had, maybe, and this will hopefully also intertwine with us discovering more about each of my altars that have recently come out. They're basically 4 or 5 people that are kind of newer to the system, so have recently discovered altars. And those 4, their main 4 that I know of are basically keeping hidden until we do certain steps, I think. That's how I understand it, so we'll see how things go. The next book I'm wanting to read is An Introduction to Prayer. I've already gotten to what is called part 5 of this. This one is broken down into parts and chapters, so what I'm doing for this is, so I'm doing different readings, so like I'm doing like say part 1. Part 1 had 5 chapters in it, so I'm not highlighting in this book because I have to redonate it. But what I'm doing is basically, hold on. I'm taking it and writing down like each of the chapters' names. Sometimes I will then write like, oh, this is something that picked up on it. And then again, I will journal about it. I will have like the day that I read it, the part that I'm on, what the chapter is about, and then breaking it down a little bit. That's pretty simple. While I'm breaking it down, I also intertwine it with what I'm thinking and stuff and how I've learned this skill from all these other books and how it's just getting reinforced with me. And whenever it keeps getting reinforced with me, I'm like, okay, this is something I seriously need to work on. But something I keep getting reacquainted with is the fact that us as humans are designed to, like, we are like, I don't remember how to put this exactly, but there are 4 aspects or 3 aspects to each individual person. The 3 aspects are like mind, body, and soul. So you have to work on all 3 of these rather than just saying working on your mind. You need to also work on your spirituality and also work on your body, because this is how you best equip yourself for God and to fully understand Him. I'm doing a lot of research. I don't know if research is the right word, but I'm doing a lot of reading about Christian books because I'm trying to become a Catholic nun or Catholic sister, religious sister. Right now I'm kind of in like I wouldn't say discernment process, because I feel like if I was doing discernment, I would physically go to see other areas, like other places, to get kind of acquainted with like what sisterhood is actually, like the sister Catholic life is like, rather than just being at home doing all this research, if that makes sense. But I'm also still kind of dipping my toes every once in a while into how to do things, if that makes sense. But I just haven't gotten in contact with anyone other than my local priest about this. My local priest actually suggested this book. Like I said, part 5. I'm on part 5, and I think there's like 7 parts to this book. So I'm almost done with it. But just doing this. And when will I get in contact with the sisters? I'm thinking possibly, probably start it in the winter time or the fall time once we get the south side of the house done. But we'll just see how I feel after that. Man, those clips are getting long. I will be right back because I need to take a drink of water, and then we'll talk about the 2 fiction books I'm wanting to read. So I'll be right back. Hey guys, it's about 1:20 right now. This is like, gosh, I'm sorry, I'm like fading in and out again. I got done reading chapter 11 about the grief in this book. Do I remember what I read? Not really, which is never a good sign. But I remember from my journaling session, which was terrible. I remember writing down, like, I felt like I was fading in and out of the story / work. And I'm just like, that has been happening so often lately. It's like me feeling like I'm fading in and out of like awareness to out of like being in and out of awareness kind of thing. And like usually whenever I like start feeling this like in and out like perspective of life, I end up shutting down because like I don't know what to do. Like I'm like, especially when it comes to church, like right now for some reason, the last 2 weeks of church, I think, I've been present, like, I go to church early, but yet, when it comes to, like, starting to say the rosary and stuff, like, for some reason, like, I know the rosary by heart, so I'll be praying it, understanding it, and putting myself in that moment, but at the same point, like, there will be something, like a switch inside me, like, one of my altars will come out, and I will start fading in and out of awareness. And, like, I'll be saying the words, but obviously, like, not as well as I should. But, I just keep fading in and out, and I'm just like, I'm so tired of this feeling. And is it something I'm ever going to get over? Probably not. But I'm just like, I'm so tired feeling this in and out of consciousness. And it's more of a recent development, and I think it really has to deal with my alters, like my new alters. And my med provider told me on Wednesday, she was like, I was talking about how, like, I feel less motivated to do stuff almost. And it's not less motivated, it's just like, actually it kind of is, but like, I will go to do something and be ready to start it, but like 5 minutes into it, like, I will be taken out of that moment and thrown into another world of being like, yeah, I'm not doing this, delete the words, end of story. And she made the comment, she's like, that's most likely a teenage alter doing that. And I was just like, dang. I thought, like, and like, I just keep constantly thinking, like, I'm like, oh, I'm getting better, but I'm also like, this whole new alters coming out concerns me. And I know I need to think of it as, like, it's healing. It is healing, and I know it's healing. It's just alarming because I don't like change. But I also want to get better. I don't want to keep living this life where I'm perpetually in a cycle of, like, depression, anxiety, mental health hospital, like, I want to be to the point where I don't have to go to the mental hospital whenever I get too stressed, like, maybe I learn a healthy coping skill of, like, I don't know, going on vacation, instead of perpetually cycling into, I am so done, I'm going to go to the hospital for 5 days and then come home, like, that's a terrible way to think of it. Like, my sister always comments, she's always like, I don't get how you think, like, you enjoy I enjoy the mental health hospital. And she's like, I don't understand that, because she's heard horror stories of mental health hospitals, and I've experienced some of them. But I'm like, for me, it's just such an escape from reality almost. Like, I'm so perpetually, like, in the moment, like, worrying about all the stuff that's going around me. But yet, when I'm at the hospital, I'm completely taken away from it. And maybe it's because I'm around people, and I'm trying to learn about their lives, like, just learn about them, and also heal myself at the same time. And, like, this also happens whenever I'm around a new group of people, and maybe that's why I want to become a sister so badly, is because, like, if I'm around a group of people who have similar beliefs to me and understand me in some sort of way, that it'll kind of get me out of my comfort, out of my, like, perpetual cycle of worrying about bills, worrying about finances and stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know. And that's honestly, like, another reason that I'm struggling is because, like, I'm just thinking about, like, why I want to become a sister, and I'm like, all this reason sounds selfish. And I'm just like, that's not what it should be. Like, falling in love with Jesus shouldn't feel like it shouldn't be a selfish reason. And, like, there's aspects of me that's not selfish, but I'm just like, I don't know, I'm going down spirals. And I'm just like, I need to take a break. I need to take a hot minute and just relax. And that was what today was supposed to be, just take a day and relax and read. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just freaking wrecked. But, I'm going to still continue to read. I'm still going to continue to just enjoy the day. So what I'm going to do is actually read in my Bible. So I just ended on day 98 yesterday. I was having troubles getting that video started, mostly because, for some reason, the playlist that I was listening to on Father Mike's, the Bible in a Year podcast, it had day 98 as, like, I couldn't watch it for some reason according to YouTube, so I had to go a different way. But I'm recently reaching, after day 98, it is the start of the next period. So, like, when I say period, I mean, like, the Bible in a Year divides the book up into like narrative stories. So I just got done with the Judges and Conquest, which at the end of it was leading the first 8 chapters of the book of Samuel. Well, the first book of Samuel. And so now we're going to get into, I can't remember what this next period is called, so I want to watch that video, and then at 4 or 5 o'clock, then do day 99 of the Bible in a Year. And I'll say sorry, I felt my body completely switch in that conversation. But I will say I've not been consistent with the day night, like reading this every day in a row. Just because, like I said, my mental health was really rough, and I needed something to stop. And not necessarily need something to stop, it was just like, I needed, well, it wasn't even me, it was just like, everybody wanted, I don't know, it was just chaotic mess, and like, I just couldn't. Anyways, I've done a lot of complaining. I'm gonna get into the Bible in a Year. I'm gonna do this 4th or 5th section. Actually, I think I'm on period 6. I also finished a notebook. Sorry, I'm going on different tangents now. But I finished a notebook. It's actually back there on that shelf right there. But I finished a notebook, so I have a new notebook that I'm writing in. It has 200 pages in it. And what I do for the Bible in a Year is I write on one page, flip it over for, like, this will be the chat about this next period. The next page will be 99, 100, 101 on the backside. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I will come and see you after that's done. Hopefully this will get me in a better mood. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, so I just got done doing, well, not just got done, I did a little extra things too, just messing around on my Google Docs, but I just got done doing the Bible in a Year, check-in point. It's the I can't think of words. I can see the word, I'm looking at the word, I just can't think of how to pronounce it, and I think I spelled it correctly. But so this checkpoint is getting ready to the Gospel of John. We're going to be doing this in 7 days. We're reading the whole Gospel in 7 days, which I'm really interested in doing. Also, I will say, like, I'm in a lot better mental health space, in a lot better of a mental health space after reading the Bible or just getting to know about the Bible. I forget how much, like, scripture, or even listening to people talk about the Bible, or just listening to people's, like, conversion stories and stuff, inspires me so much, and it just enlightens me. But yeah, so we are doing the Gospel of John, and this is the first Gospel that we are reading, and this is kind of revealing how, I might have butchered this quote, but Saint Benedict, I think, is who it was. I can't think of the quote, who said this quote, but the Old Testament reveals the New Testament, and the New Testament is a testament of what the Old Testament promised. That's something that really is kind of nice. But so the next 7 days we are going to be doing the Gospel of John. Full of the Gospel. I think we'll probably do some Proverbs, quotes in there too, but yeah, we're doing that. And later today, probably after I eat, I will do day 99 of the day 99 of the Bible in a Year. So yeah, I think that's really good. I am now going to get into reading, Driven Got the Boy Next Door. I'm going to read this for about 30 minutes, which will lead us right up around 3 o'clock. And then I might read some more. Basically, it is read till I get hungry, go eat, then do my Bible in a Year, rosary for the day, journaling stuff, and then go in to take a shower. Because my Mass today is at 7, so I have from now until 6 o'clock to get everything accomplished. Yeah. So I will see you guys later, okay? Bye. Guys, so it is currently 3:20. I did a little more than 30 minutes of reading just because I was in the middle of a chapter. I read to chapter 9 in Dreaming About the Boy Next Door. Uh, I've got that much done, and I've got this much left to go. Really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to try to play it off like I didn't like it. I love it. After I got done reading, I literally, like, went like this, which is, like, my happiness. Like, whenever something is so, like, I can see it all playing out, I can, like, just see the emotions and, like, feel how the playlist, like, I say playlist, but I feel like how I can already tell how the story is going to end. And I clap my hands like this, and I'm like, I just want to keep reading, which obviously every author should want their reader to be like, I am so invested in this, I need to finish it now. But I just have a weird relationship with reading. I always feel like I have to read at least 30 minutes of a story before I can call it done. And since tonight is already going to be busy with church, with my scripture time, like, I just am like, I need to just space it out. But I really enjoyed it. Got to chapter 9. I have all these ideas of what, like, how things are going to happen. And I know that in the back of the book, there's a chapter in, I guess I can say his name, Reed, the main the male love interest. And, I really want to read that chapter, like, that extra scene, in Reed's perspective, but I'm like, well, it's not an extra. I think it's in his perspective during an important climax, but I'm just like, I want to read it to see I want to read it so I get his side of the perspective, just because I want the validation that, yes, I was right. But, I'm just gonna wait until the book's done, like a good girl. Like a good person. But yeah, I don't know if I told you guys this, but, like, with Sarah Sutton's writing, I really enjoy her writing. I'm slowly trying to work through some of my more, like, some of the author tubers here on YouTube, but just books that kind of interest me. I've read one of Sarah Cannon's books, which was Beautiful Demons. It took me a while to read it, so I might have to reread it again, but I'm really wanting to read, what was it called? A Mirror of Shadows. She read it online, like on her YouTube channel. I really enjoyed listening to it. I only listened to about halfway point, or really probably like a quarter, because of how long the chapter 13 was, or the episode 13. But I want to get that and just see how, like, it evolved from the original draft into what it is now. So hopefully whenever I get money and actually don't spend it all, I'm going to buy a couple books. One will be Sarah Cannon's book. One will be a book about purgatory for my sister. And then one will be a, kind of like, I can't think of how, it's like a reflection on the mysteries. I think I'm going to be doing I can't decide which one, but it's by Alison Ramirez, I think is her name. I don't remember, but she's a Catholic, Christian author. So I want to read her, rosary invitation stories, kind of get deeper into how to pray the rosary and really reflect on it. Yeah, but those will probably be the 3 books that I buy. I might buy a 4th if I need to spend X amount of dollars. But yeah, I don't know why I told you guys this. But really enjoyed Sarah Sutton's work so far. And like I said, I think I've told you guys, like, I read Teaching the Teacher's Pet. Do I remember everything? No, but I do, like, as I'm reading this book, I get remember things from Teaching the Teacher's Pet. So yeah, I'm having fun. I think I'm going to go take a shower, go eat, and then do my scripture time, which I don't think I'll update you guys on, but maybe after my scripture time, so after I do my afternoon, evening routine, I'll then come back and maybe do some reading of this. I am doing part 5, and it doesn't look to be that long. It's only like this much pages. It goes from so it ends on page 89, and it starts on page 77, so I could probably finish this before church tonight, so I think that's what I'll do. Anyways, I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye. Guys, so it's about 5:50 right now, and I think I'm going to call it quits on this video here. So today I did a little bit of reading. I read my Complex PTSD book. I read chapter 11, which was my grieving chapter. Did I do a really good job on journaling about it? No. I think I need to go back and reread a couple other chapters and then probably reread it. But I'm going to wait until I get the rest of the books done and like the rest of the chapters done. And it's also just a dense book, so I think I need to be a little more healed about my inner critic and stuff before I can fully understand it and do a better job journaling about it. But I did get that done. Then I did 30 minutes of reading and Dreaming at the Boy Next Door. Really enjoyed it. Good little fiction read to kind of release some of that tension in myself. And then I also did two different videos / readings of the Bible in a year. I am up to day 100 of it. Yeah, I'm really, really happy with how things went today. It was just nice getting to kind of reflect on the day and just sit there and just enjoy life a little bit. I will say it did start off a little stressful or just anxiety ridden because I was in town this morning to get groceries, and I drove by the hospital and I saw a blue car there. And I live in a small town, that's why it's so easy to drive by the hospital. But it looked like a blue car that looked like my dad, so I was super anxious. I was like, oh no, Dad's in the hospital. But yet he didn't tell me or my sister, and I was just freaking out. So I literally took out my trash just to see if Dad was there. We burn our trash, it's just how things are. Besides that little freak out session, it was pretty good. And also, like, just being reminded to sit in the moment and sit with God really, really helps me. God really does invigorate me. He lights a fire in me. And listening to his scripture, listening to whatever he says when I pray, just helps enlightens me. So it's really, really nice. Yeah, and I will say, so today we just got into John, the Gospel of John. Oh my gosh, it is so good. And at first I never realized I knew John wrote the book, but I never realized which John it was. And it's John the Apostolate, instead of John the Baptist, which was really interesting to know. But yeah, that is kind of all I gotta say. I hope you guys will enjoy, and maybe in like another video, I don't know if it'll be this month, I don't really know what my game plan is, but I can do like an updated version of my evening night scripture time, because I do want to add a couple more things to it. Maybe this will be a May video, because in May I'm going to be starting the total consecration to the Immaculate. This will be the 3rd time that I'm doing it, so this is the book. It's a 33-day process, I think. I don't remember. But so I'm doing it May 25th to June 27th. Another thing that I'm doing right now, I'm wanting to get back into doing is, so on the Ascension Presents app, or Ascensions app, they do daily readings, like has the daily readings, daily gospels, some reflection time, and then also some things to meditate on, And I've been trying to write each daily one in here just to kind of reflect and like take aspects of that and then put it into like a Bible, like into a journaling session. Haven't really been doing that too well. I tried to do it for the last 2 weeks. Never really got into it because of my depression, or just my empty feeling, but I think I'm going to get back into it. But that'll probably, like I said, maybe I'll have 2 videos. One updated video for adding the daily verses into my day, I might even do that in the morning, so I might have a morning routine for religious, like I say religious, but like doing my morning routine, it's like starting a new morning routine for my Bible and like religious time. Then also adding an evening one on top of that. Not really sure. I'll have to do some thinking about it. But if that's the case, I'll probably start it either this week or next week. We'll kind of decide. But also another video I'm doing, like I don't remember if I told you, but the next video you guys are going to see is me working on JJ's story. Just starting off Act 3. Did Chapter 21 already. Tomorrow I'm planning on doing Chapter 22. Which will be interesting because I am going to be having to write in an unknown perspective, because right now I want the body, I'm just going into detail, but I'm wanting the body to, like, the story to kind of feel like it's kind of like a loosey-goosey kind of situation, like, almost like we're fading in and out of awareness, like, I really don't know how I'm going to do it, but, like, there's going to be some flashes of, like, fading in, fading out of consciousness kind of thing, and I think that's how I'm going to do it. Do I know how? No, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, I had a super fun time doing this today. If you enjoy me doing reading vlogs, leave it down in the description below, and leave a comment. I will try to do these more often. I tried to have these reading vlogs, like the reading days, on Saturdays, but maybe every other Saturday I'll do that. Again, all depends on whenever we start working on the house. But maybe after we get the house done, I can do more reading vlogs, to have it go every other day, and then on Tuesday I can post it kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, I had super fun today, and I will see you guys next time with the next video. And don't forget to keep making fantasies come true, one story at a time. And I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye!